Hello and welcome to Friends and Authors Live. I'm Rosa Linda Roman with my co-host AK Vias, also known as Aash, and I'm coming to you from Taos, New Mexico. I'm at a place called Quail Ridge Tennis Club, and they have been kind enough to let me use their clubhouse. So I don't know how the internet's going to hold up. We've had this problem when I'm traveling before, so fingers crossed that we can get through the show. So first of all, hi Ash, how are you?
Great, great. And if you have air conditioning, I wish I was there.
Oh
Uh, you
gosh,
know,
I didn't think about that. How hot is it
because
where you are?
it's 98 degrees and
Oh,
it's 2026. Germany is one of the most advanced countries in the world with great technology and one of the highest education levels. And they haven't figured out that air conditioning is a good idea yet.
yeah, I have to say, I do. First of all, yes, it is air conditioned in here. Not extremely done, because a lot of places you go in and you freeze. It's like the Arctic tundra when they have air conditioning. It's just a perfect temperature. I'm not sweating. It's warm outside, but it's very comfortable. Meanwhile, I have to kind of tell a quick story. My daughter is doing an exchange program in London right now. And she has a dorm and she's having a great time seeing theater, all of this. But most of the venues and her dorm and most places she goes do not have AC at all. And they're having a heat wave, as you know, in Europe. And so she called me and she's like, I'm basically lying here. I've taken 3 cold showers in one day, which in New Mexico, we don't ever do that because water is an issue. But she's taken 3 cold showers just to try to stay cool. And that surprises me that she's so hot because she goes to school in Arizona. So like you don't get much hotter than that, right? But because in Arizona, everybody has air conditioning. So it's definitely a new experience for her.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it seems to be happening more and more often, but no, it's. You know, uh, you try to get stuff done early in the morning, and the schools are still in session, but they're letting the kids out at 11 o'clock
Oh,
every day
really? Because it's so
because
hot?
there's no air conditioning in the classrooms, so they don't want
Oh
kids
my gosh.
melting in. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
maybe
Well,
you know,
I'm gonna savor my, we're at about 8,000 feet here too. So here in Taos, it's a lot cooler than a lot of places just because of the altitude. So yes, I will count my lucky stars.
yeah,
That's awesome. Well, okay. So today we were going to talk about box sets. Well, we talked about kind of what are the things we want to talk about. First of all, just a check-in, like how are things going with you? How are things, now that it's summer for me, my son is out of school. And so that means fitting in the writing time, trying to get things done, trying to be productive in between swimming at the pool, tennis, all the other things. So how's it going for
yeah.
you?
Things are well. Things are well. Other than the fact that it's scorching hot with no AC, everything else is fine. Um,
Good.
couple of updates on past topics. We had talked about dictation a
Mm-hmm.
few months back, I think when we first started, and I've been working on it. And this month, I have got 50,000 words as of today of a book done, and
Dictated.
I have not written a single word this month. It's all been dictated.
Wow.
And
That
so now
is
obviously
amazing.
I have to go back and edit it. I'll probably edit it even more, you know, scrupulously than I normally would because I'm still wary. I still don't think I dictate as well as I write.
Right.
But the speed, I mean, if I'm cranking, I can get 4,000 words, decent words done in half an hour.
So let me
Right.
ask you a question. So when you're dictating, are you just sitting at your desk dictating? Or are you going for a walk? What's your
I
usual?
have to move. I have to move. So I
Yeah.
go for a walk early in the morning or after. I'll drop Emil. He takes the uh, the local subway to school. So I'll drop him off there and then go to a park or something like that.
Hmm.
And
And you
yeah,
go
so
for a
that
walk. And so you're dictating these words as you're walking.
yes, with the Futo app and these headphones, the the Shocks headphones that Mr. Danny
Yeah.
put me onto. He put me onto the Futo app as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and
Well, and
update you.
you guys put me onto that also. FUTO is the name. It's an app, and I've actually been doing the same thing while I've been here. When my son was playing tennis, I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk or a run, and next thing I knew, I'm like, I wonder if I could dictate something, and I dictated a whole chapter. I think it was like maybe 3,000 words, which I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. And the other quick update. Well, there's two actually. One, Mr. Danny's getting hits on his website offering. So
Nice.
that's exciting that people are see the opportunity there.
Yeah, and
And
to reiterate,
finally,
if somebody missed it last week, they should go back and watch last week's episode because Danny King, who was our tech wizard, he offered to our viewers a special, like a screaming deal on overhauling your website with GEO, which is whatever the new, instead of SEO, it's the AI version. You know the name. I always forget. What does it stand for? Do you know?
it's generative
Graphics.
engine
Oh, generative. Okay.
optimization as opposed to search engine because it's
Okay. Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
is slowly taking everything over, right? Maybe not that slowly,
Yeah.
but yes.
Not so slowly
So
anymore. But yeah,
no,
just to go back, if you are watching this and you don't know what we're talking about, go back to last episode because Danny made a really amazing offer, and you'll see the website that he built for Aash, and he is. I think it's up to 10 people are allowed to use that special code that he is offering our viewers. So do that. You won't regret it.
yeah, and so good for Mr. Danny. And the final thing is we were fortunate enough to have Facebook ads expert Blake Hudson on
Mm-hmm.
in early May. And if you recall, he said his technique takes on average about 2 months to bear fruit. Like it might actually be underwater for the first month. It gets better, breaks even, and then really starts to kick in at the end of the second month. Well, I'm about a week away from the end of the second month, and I can say, at least for my books, it definitely works. His
Interesting.
technique, and the cool thing about it, relative to the way we were doing it before, the results are good, but it's a lot less work. That previously with the previous method that we were using, it was successful, but I spent pretty much spending my Wednesdays generating Facebook ads, testing, testing, testing. I think I've tested 4 or 5 ads in a month, almost 2 months now. So I have much more time for writing, and the results are comparable, if not slightly better. So
Wow.
there's definitely something to Blake's methods. We're very fortunate to have him on.
That's awesome. That's so great. I'm so happy to hear that. And it makes me go, okay, I really need to set the time aside and do that myself because I just feel like, with Facebook ads, I've been just like, oh, let me just keep dumping money into a bottomless pit. So I'll have to get on that bandwagon.
Okay, and that leads exactly into our main topic of conversation today,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that is box sets. And the most dynamic indie author we both know, um, if you look back, he's told me this too, but if you look back through his posts 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when he was much earlier in his journey and not even a six-figure author now, I don't know if he's an eight-figure author now, but he's
Wow.
definitely a consistent seven-figure author. He said the big difference was when he started box sets for
Interesting.
Facebook ads. Like that, he said that was a turning point for him. Now he's a force of nature, so he's doing all sorts of stuff, and he's got 100 books plus. But it was interesting he said that. And the thing about box sets is you've already done the work. It's literally just combining books you've already written. And what you find is just like we were talking about, people, there are different categories of readers that you would think that, oh, well, is it possible that my box set would cannibalize sales for my individual books, right? Um,
Right.
maybe, but for the most part, I haven't seen that to be the case, and a lot of professional authors we know I would tend to agree with me. It just seems like there are two different types of viewers. Just like some people prefer Instagram, some people prefer YouTube, some people prefer Facebook. It seems like there are people who just buy box sets as opposed to
Really?
individual books and just wait for box sets. So, Blake advertises to box sets as well, like separate ads just for box sets, as does Steve and a bunch of other successful authors we know. So it's very important. One rule of thumb that I think is reasonable to follow is to wait about a month after the last book that would be in the box set is out. You can even wait a quarter, and
Yeah.
then package the box set together. So there's a couple of ways to do it. For
Okay,
example,
wait, before you get into the ways, let me just show visually what we're talking about, just for anyone who, I mean, if you don't know, I didn't really put it together. What a box set is essentially, this is Aash's website, and this is, it's virtual box set, really. It's an ebook, right? They're
yeah,
ebook.
so that's actually a very, very important point if you want to be nitpicky or technical, which you don't ever want to mislead, obviously, your customers. Um, this is not technically a box set because they're ebooks, right? It is technically an omnibus because they're not physical
Mm,
books. Now, if
okay.
at the point in time I get around to, I do have physical books, but making you know, an actual box set of actual physical books, that's a box set. But
Okay.
this is technically an omnibus, but it's the same thing. Basically, it's a a Kindle file ebook with all three ebooks in it.
Yeah.
So
And if you go over here to this is the Kindle version that I added to my library. And if you go to like the table of contents, it has all the books that are in this set. I was hoping to get to that. Give me a second. There. So it shows this is the Eagle Feather and all of the chapters, and Winter's Wind and Crimson Sky. So that's by box set. It means that you can keep reading in the same. You're sitting and you've got your Kindle and you're on vacation. You've got all three, in this case, all three books as part of a set.
yeah, exactly. So um, there are a couple of different ways to structure it, and it's really preference, but it's as simple as you just showed there. In that, the first thing you kind of have to decide is how long of a box set you want it to be. Because, for example, if you have a 5 book series, you can
Which I
have
do. Yeah.
which you can have a 5 book box set, which is a really good deal, right? The general rule of thumb, and this is where we've been hoping for years Amazon would up its threshold for the 70% royalty. It's still $9.99. But the general rule
Mhm.
of thumb is you want your box set priced at 2/3 of the price of the books individually combined, right? So roughly, if your books are $5 each, buying each individual would be $15. You price your box set at $9.99. You're still in the 70% compensation range for Kindle or Amazon KDP, or Kindle Unlimited. Not even
Mhm.
Kindle Unlimited, just the royalty for Amazon.
Right.
So that's a general. Now, here's the thing, because it's also an absolute question. So, one very successful author we know has a 15 book box set, right?
Oh my gosh.
But he still offers it at $9.99. So you're like, well, okay, but that's kind of cannibalizing. He'll even offer that thing on BookBub at 99 cents for 15 books. Now,
Okay,
that might seem,
wait. How does that work? How does that
okay,
work? I
okay,
don't get
okay.
that.
I set you up. Okay, that seems not not great. Not a great way to you know
Do
your books are
business.
$5 each. There's 15 of them here, and you're offering it for 99 cents,
Right.
right? Yeah. The problem is, well, not the problem. The wonderful part is 40,000 people bought it. for 99 cents in 2 weeks on BookBub,
Mhm.
right?
Interesting.
So who's laughing now, right? Is just kind of what he said, right? Um, and so because BookBub wants to give people deals, and that's a great deal. I mean, this is
Yeah.
an established author with great series, and so I don't think it has to be that extreme, but that's to give you an example of And it was funny because I was talking to him about it, and I said, yeah, well, I don't have anything near that. He's like, well, you just have a couple of Western series. I'm like, yeah, one has 4 books and the other has 4 books. He's like, well, why don't you make an AKVS Western omnibus with 8 books, slap 99 cents on it for normally 9.99, make it 99 cents for BookBub, and see if you can sell 20,000 of them, right? And I'm like,
Interesting.
well, I'm not quite in your league, but that's a good idea. It's a good
Well,
idea, right?
it's a very
So
interesting thought, isn't it? I would
yeah,
not have
yeah,
ever thought of that.
yeah. So I mean, that's the beautiful part of being an indie. There are no rules. Like there's no publisher to
Mhm.
push back, say no. Like ultimately, the customers decide, and you decide what you want to do. And that may have not sound like a great strategy at the beginning, but hey, if you can make 30 or 40,000 bucks in 2 weeks, uh,
And I love that you can just experiment like that and you can test it out and you find out,
yeah,
well, that didn't work, or, and employing Blake's idea. Also, there are times where you need to not rush to change things, like give it some time to see how if it does. Because I think part of my tendency, at least, and I know a lot of other indie authors are like, oh, that didn't work, or entrepreneurs in general. It's like they try something, it doesn't work after the first try, and then it's like, well, we're going to try the next thing, try the next thing. But if you give it time to breathe and, test it out, there's lots of fun that you can have with experimenting.
yeah. And in that example, I was just trying to demonstrate what's possible. Obviously, this is a very high-end author, and he's got a lot of things lined up for him already. Not that I would expect myself to do that with a box set, but
Right.
right away. But then the other thing, like for example, like my Eagle Feather Saga will be at least 6 books, maybe more. And so the first 3 are in box set. I'm working on book 5 right now. So you can also say, well, if I use the 2/3 rule, I'm just going to have, you know, uh, the first 3 books box set, then the second 3 books box set, or if you had a 9-book series, 3 box sets, and maybe that's more shots on goal. And I'm more comfortable with that than packaging them all together. Or at a certain point, you're like, you know what? I'm moving on to the next series. I'm going to keep marketing book 1. They can have all these different box set deals. At the end of the day, if they're paying $9.99 for it, um, it's still a better margin
Right.
than when you're single books. And one of the other advantages to the box sets is it lends itself particularly well to Facebook ads, right? Because Facebook ads aren't cheap, and generally you require a series. A general rule of thumb, most authors I know have at least 3 books in a series before they start running Facebook ads, because if it takes you 30 clicks and 15 cents a click, you're probably underwater on book
Mhm.
1. Maybe you break even on book 2 and really start making money on book 3. But
Yeah.
with a box set, if you're selling it for $9.99, you have a lot more wiggle room, right?
Yeah.
For
It makes a
Facebook
lot
ads
of
to work.
sense.
So those are all, those are the advantages of it. The potential disadvantage is it could cannibalize your individual book sales, but I don't think I really don't think it does, because from what I've seen so far, they're just 2 separate classes of buyers. I mean, they're just bargain hunters out there who just, I'm not going to buy a book full price, but I will buy 3 books for 2/3, or 99
Yeah.
cents
Yeah.
or whatever the deal is. Um,
So
so
let
so
me
yeah,
ask you a question. So the box set that we were showing just now, the Eagle Feather saga,
Mhm.
did how long have you had that out? When did
I
you
re-
turn it? At
I
what
I
point did you turn it into a box set?
I was delinquent on it. I finished book 4 uh, this summer of 24, and
Mhm.
I still have a full-time job, so I was swamped at work and didn't get around to doing it. And then towards the latter part of last year, I said, "Well, this is silly. I'm just leaving money on the table." So I didn't put all four in there because I'm going to have two box sets of three ultimately,
Right.
because the series will be at least six. But I packaged the first three together, and for me, it's a lot of there's a lot of detail to it, but it's actually not that hard. I mean, literally, I write my books in Microsoft Word documents, right? So it's literally
Mhm.
like, okay, at the end of book one, paste the Word document for book two, and so on and so forth, right? So basically,
Yeah,
just have,
let
you
me
know,
pull that up actually. So like I was looking through your chapters. I'll try to go quickly to not give anything away. But when you go through to the end, it goes to the next book.
yeah,
In terms of
exactly,
when,
exactly,
right?
yeah, and so there have to be a couple of adjustments, and but basically the basic thing you're doing is cutting and pasting. At least if you're using Word like I do, just pasting the books in order, one after the other, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so the Word doc was 60,000 words, and now it's 180,000 words, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I
so
actually tried when I knew we were going to talk about this. I was like, well, let me try to get in there and see if I can make my box set. I use Word for my editor. I don't write in Word. I write in Dabble, which I love. And I don't use Word except I export it to Word for my editor. And then I move it into Kindle Create, which is a different app, to do all the formatting. And I realized once I started diving in there, it's actually going to take a little more work than I expected. So I'm glad we started this conversation because I do need to do it, but I didn't know what it would take to actually create that Word file that we need.
yeah, and I don't really know any systems other than I just use Microsoft Word, right? All of my ebooks are straight Word documents uploaded to Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So there are some things you have to figure out for yourself, and it's more personal choice. Um, most ebooks have a table of content with links to the chapters in the book in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
So if you have three books, what I've seen done is what I've done is you just have one big table of content. So it's instead of one page, it's 3 pages, one for each book, one after the other. So at the beginning of the book, people can, go to any chapter in any of the books that they want. So basically, you just cut and paste the table of contents from book two and three onto the pages behind the table of content for book one. And then you have to adjust some of the metadata because for each of your books, you have dedications, you have acknowledgments, all that sort of stuff. Um, you have to figure out how much of that you want to leave for each book. So what I did was book one, I left the dedication in, and then went straight to book two, left the dedication in, went straight to book three, left the dedication in, and then all the back matter that each book has, like off, I just put at the end of book three. So it's slightly different from each of my individual books, but it's much more.
Okay.
But that was my choice. This is an individual choice. You could literally just paste all three books together and not even deal with
Which
the table of contents if you wanted. Right.
again, that's the beauty of being an indie author. You get to decide.
Yeah. But and uh, I mean they sell, and when you're looking at your dashboard and you're thinking, okay, well I sold this many copies of each of the books in the series, and I sold this many copies of the box set, which is $9.99 a pop, and that's nice because it's like selling a number of individual copies.
Yeah.
Um, and so I
Well,
have
and I like
not.
the idea. I like the idea. Sorry, that it's not just because one of the things that I worry about when you have a series that is they can potentially stand alone, but also flow together. I always am like, well, if somebody doesn't actually read through, and you can't always tell if people are reading through, but if they're not reading through, they're missing so much of the story. And so when you buy a box set, I feel like they are investing in the longer investment in the story. They want to follow, not just, oh, let me just see this first book, but I'm going to not only see the first book, but if it keeps my attention, I'm going to immediately start reading the other two or three or
Yeah.
however many.
Well, it's interesting too because what I've discovered in Facebook ads is that, people comment on your ads. Hopefully that's a good thing. If they like or comment your ads, that's the engagement Blake was talking about. That's better than attribution for figuring out which ads are actually converting. One of
Mm-hmm.
the most common comments I get is people like series. Is this series complete? And some people have passed on my series. They said, I'll buy it when it's complete because they want the whole story. They don't want to be left hanging like, was it Game of Thrones where the guy's, I don't think he's written the last book yet, right?
Oh, really?
People have been waiting for years for
Oh my
this.
gosh.
So, I can't say that because none of my series are complete. But you,
Mhm.
with your Catalina Cruise series, unless something's changed, can absolutely say, and you
No,
can
it's
market it that way too, because uh, uh, some of our most successful author friend, he says, you see in his Facebook ads, don't waste time, buy the complete series here, 15 books for $9.99, right?
mm-hmm.
And some people are like, yeah, I don't want to sit there waiting for a year if I like to start. I want the whole thing in front of me now for a bargain price,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
That's
that,
I
so that
know for sure my daughter is that way. She will wait until the series is done because she was burned. I don't know the name of the author that, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't say it, but she had been reading a series that she loved, and then the author took forever to write the next book. And so she's like, never again. I'm going to make sure the series is complete before I start a new series. So I get that. It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's what I've been doing.
It's great. It's
Um,
great.
and
I'm making the commitment to work on that and to get that box set put together. I also think just, you know, looking at if somebody ever wants to gift the books to someone, it's such a nice idea that it's one complete thing, right? I mean, I know it's not a tangible thing and it's an ebook, but still, I don't know, just feels like you're giving them the complete series. I like that idea.
then the next question, which is a reasonable question, is, well, wait, I see a lot of people with the ebook box sets. I don't see very many physical book box sets, right?
Right.
And the reason is, at least with the current Amazon rules of engagement, it's prohibitively expensive because they charge you. If you think about it, what you'd have to charge for that to make comparable money, it's just economically, in my opinion, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, given how much Amazon charges you for printing and you know um, producing the physical book. So
Yes. And by the way, that actually makes me think of something that I've been wanting to ask you. Did you notice in your KDP dashboard that there's a new a kind of paper that they're trying to get us to switch to?
yes,
Let me see if
yes,
I can pull that up while you answer.
yeah, it's groundwood or greenwood or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What I heard was it's it's nothing. It's actually not new. It's actually you know going back to the feature. It's an old kind of paper that they used. It's thinner. It's lighter. They tend to say that they give you a discount. Amazon's trying to incent you to. I think they say that your production costs will decrease by 5%, which is all good. But the feedback I've heard so far, and it's a very limited data set, is the books fall apart faster
Interesting.
than, and so I don't want that for my customers. If they plunk down the money for one of my books, I could be happier with Amazon printing. I mean, now I have books by Amazon and Ingram, and people who get the Ingram books seem to like them better than the Amazon books, the physical books. But
Okay.
to the extent of what I control, I'm not going to go with the cheaper paper um, because I want people to have sturdier paper for if they buy my books and the books to
Mm-hmm.
last. Right. So, but
Okay.
it's an
Yeah, I
individual
wondered
choice.
because I was trying to find. Oh, here. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Share screen and this. So this is where it says, what's new? Groundwood paper now available, a lower cost and lower carbon paper option. And you can update your paper. I've actually also, now that you've answered, I've gone through some of, there's a guy on YouTube who did a video about it. And that was his take also, was that it was, not the quality, he had gotten, because you can order a sample book with that paper, and I think it's like Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was like, I'd rather order an indie author's book. So I don't know if any indie authors watching this have their book in this greenwood paper. I don't know. If so, let me know, and I'll buy your book, and I'll look at. I like to physically feel what the difference is, but yeah, I think I'll hold off on doing anything like that, because I like the feel of my my paperbacks as they are right now. And the thought of like trying to save a few pennies, I don't know what the difference is financially, but I don't know. I think if you're going out of your way to order a paperback from an author that you enjoy or that you want to support, you want that physical book that feels good in your hand. So unless it feels good, I'm probably not interested.
No, I agree. I agree. So that's the paper issue. And then the final issue with the box sets is the cover.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's important.
So that's, cover is one of the most important things. The cliche is true. People do judge books by covers.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, and once again, here is the inherent freedom of being an indie author. There are authors whose ebooks and paperbacks have different covers. You can have an entirely third different cover for your box sets, a fourth one for your audiobooks. There's no rules. Your rules, it's your business. You do what you want.
Okay.
I tend to keep it simple. And most folks do something like this. They just use the cover, the image from book one in the series, because that's the one people are most familiar with. Right. And you go to your artist, your graphic artist, or whoever did your cover, and say, hey, can you just
a human?
Yes, is a human for both of us, and say, hey, can you please? And usually they'll tell you like, they don't charge you as much to convert your ebook to print book, and a box set's pretty easy too. They don't have to. All they really have to do is put it in the format of and change the text around, right? So right. If you look at the box set, it says the Eagle Feather Saga, books 1 through 3, and it doesn't. It's the same image, right? So it's really easy to do, but you do need that. You need that. Then again, there are no rules. There are literally people who just do it yourself in Canva, make a Canva page, and just slap all their existing covers on there individually. And some people do that. It can still sell, right?
Yeah. I like this because then it immediately tells you, like, gets them ready for the series. I like the way that you use the eagle feather book, but on the side, on the spine, if you will, you've got the name of each of the books plus the number, so you visually can see this is a 3-book series. I like the way you did that. The other books that I'm thinking about are physical books, like my favorite, since we did C.S. Lewis, was that last week?
Yeah.
My favorite series of all times is the Chronicles of Narnia. And I have like the hard box with each, of the individual books. And they do have different artwork on the outside of that physical, box. But other than that, like my daughter who buys box sets, she loves physical books. She always just throws away the box and keeps the books. So maybe not worth the extra effort.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there's almost no excuse if you have, 3 books to the box set. You've already done the work. You're just repackaging them, putting another product up there, giving yourself another shot on goal. And if you think about it, if you have the 3 books and then ebooks, and then you double that for paperbacks, and then you get translations in all these different languages, like you don't really need to have that many books to have that many shots on goal, and then the box sets as well, right? So you're just making it easy for customers to get whatever they want in the fashion that they want it.
Yeah, I
And
really like
that's,
that. I like the analogy of shots on goal, given that it's the World Cup. And by the way, just
yeah,
totally unrelated, my favorite memes right now are people from other countries visiting the US for the first time because they are here for the World Cup. And they are like the things that they take great joy in and that they're just amazed at makes me smile so much. Like, you know, the United States of there's been some bad press of late, and so my husband sent me a link to, I think it was some people from Ireland who had come to the U.S. for the first time, and they were just talking about Texas barbecue, and it was like they thought they died and went to heaven. It just was the cutest thing.
no, absolutely. And I'm not a huge soccer fan, but apparently
Mm-mm.
America's not bad this year. Like they actually might make it to whatever the second round or whatever
It's
the
awesome.
playoffs is
It's
for
awesome.
the
Well, whether it's in your, you know, sports or in your indie author career, you want as many shots on goal as you can possibly get. So I definitely agree with the box sets. I still have to get on the translations. I still have to do, I actually have the
yeah.
audiobook. And that we'll do another episode in the future on audiobooks because I've already got my amazing audiobook. The voice actress has been recording, Diana Bustello. I've got the first 3 books already done. She's finishing up the last 2, and that'll be another shot. Those will be another shot on goal because that's a different audience. Again, the same book, same content, but totally
Yeah,
different way to consume it.
the thing I would reemphasize again is the box set is merely repackaging. Like, for example, deciding to make an audiobook, that can be a healthy financial investment. Even a paperback can cost you some, not a ton more, but the box set is literally just have your graphic artist change the cover. You don't even have to copyright it with the copyright offices because if your 3 original books are copyrighted already, it applies to
It's
the
already
box set as
covered.
well. Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
good to know.
it's literally just you need a cover, and you just need to
Okay.
consolidate your files, right?
Ash, you always have so much good advice. And it's one of these things that I need to schedule. Like, I think I'm going to start scheduling 2 hours a week of implementing Ash's great advice because I really feel like that little bit that I get from you, and I love that I get to talk to you like in person live, if you will, not in person, but live. Um, I think that if people followed your advice, they'd be surprised at how quickly things kind of go in the right direction. I already
Oh, uh, that wasn't good. I think we may have lost Rosa Linda. I know her internet was spotty, so looks like it's just us, folks. But yeah, as I was saying, box sets are a no-brainer. If you've got the books done, you've already done the work, and yeah, put out those box sets. Uh, so other than that, uh, hmm, we'll see if Rosalinda comes back in. Uh, hopefully, the Wi-Fi at the tennis club she's at is better than I have here, at least. But I think that should be the extent of the show. And thank you for watching, friends and authors. I'm Ash Vyas, and I'm not sure if Rosalinda's going to be able to make it back in. So goodbye, everyone. Until next week.
Well, I
Hey,
am back, and oh my gosh, hi.
hello,
Hi.
hello. I
This is
didn't know
the
what to do.
downside when you're traveling, and so I'm actually on the hotspot on my phone now. When you're traveling, you're dependent on other people's Wi-Fi. I actually went to go find a co-working space here in Taos, but it went out of business apparently. So I'm so sorry. At least we got through the meat of the show. I hope you all got what you needed out of the show. I'm going to wrap it up now before I lose this signal again. That must have given you a heart attack, Ash.
Well, I'm just by myself, so I talked to the people for a while, and I'm like, well, I think that's pretty much the show. I'm not sure if you will get back in. Do your box sets, and good luck, everyone.
I love it. Well, nothing like technology to make you a little crazy, but hopefully everyone stays cool for the next week. We will see you here next week. I'll be back at my home base, and we'll see you on Friends and Authors Live next Tuesday, same time, same place. Thanks for being here. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.